Join us as we dive into roofing, insurance, and homeowner tips in Rhode Island.
Hi, I'm jbelt, the real estate connector here in Rhode Island and Southeast Mass. I run a group called the Real Estate Connection, and we have events every month. And believe it or not, this is our first foray into podcasting. So you're here at the inaugural, can't even say inaugural. How do you say that, Lisa?
Inaugural.
And there we go, thank you. Podcast, and we're pretty excited about doing this. I'm down here at the Real office. The Real Brokerage office on Reservoir Avenue in Cranston. So nice enough to be let to use this facility, and we really appreciate it. And we plan on doing a ton of these, and so thank you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest today, Lisa Maine. She's one of our titles, I'll call them title sponsors for the 2025-2026 season. So Lisa, how are you today on this Saturday morning?
Hot.
Hot. Well, I know you're hot, okay? But
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's awesome. It's awesome. So I appreciate you coming, so I would think the first thing our audience is thinking that, isn't that a woman over there? Did he introduce her as a roofer?
That is correct.
You're a woman-owned business, yeah?
I am a one-woman show at this point.
Okay.
My partners have all retired, and so it's just me running everything and coordinating all the projects.
Well, that's excellent, yeah. So how are you, business is going well, and you're...
We've had a slow year.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
okay.
And I think there's just a lot of things going on, with the economy and people not having the income that they want to have, and and being afraid to use insurance. That's that's a big hurdle, because they don't want to use insurance because then insurance goes up. And there are some things to consider there as well.
Sure. Now, most businesses, you hear what this said out there, what's the big why, so just find it interesting that, a person like yourself would get in this business. So what was your why to start the whole thing?
There were a couple things that happened. The first thing that happened is the roof blew off my house.
That's a motivator.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, and I realized that a bunch of the people that came and gave me estimates reminded me of sleazy used car salesmen, and I saw that there was an opportunity to not be a sleazy used car salesman and provide people with a genuine person who gave a crap about what's going on at their home.
Okay.
So
excellent.
that was really the why, what started the whole thing. My husband and I started the business with a couple partners, and just started growing from there. But again, our focus is to help people with insurance. That was really the primary thing.
Okay, sure.
Because we felt that people need to be represented by someone, again, who cares about them and their home. So the most important thing is the roof over your head.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a roof over your head, you don't have a home.
So the insurance is an insurance claim of some nature from a storm or whatever, some shingles blew off and
usually that's the
triggers
case.
a project for you quite often.
So the first thing that people do when something like that happens is they may call a neighbor or a friend and just say, hey, something happened to my roof. I have shingles in my yard. There was a really bad storm. And the first thing people will tell them is call your insurance company. And that's good advice, right? We also communicate with real estate or with insurance companies, and they will contact us if one of their customers has a claim, may have a claim, and we'll go and check it out. But, ultimately the plan is for us to negotiate with the insurance company on the homeowner's behalf.
Okay, that's excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So what we sign an agreement with a homeowner. You have, if you're 65 or older, you have 72 hours to reject the deal or any claims that we would put against them for doing work on their home. That's a Rhode Island law that protects the elderly in our state.
Well, I bet
awesome.
I bet you most people don't know about that.
I know. Well, it's right in our contract. So
Wow.
anybody, and it's supposed to be in everybody's contract.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
If you're doing any work with a contractor, elderly people in the state of Rhode Island have a 72-hour right of refusal.
Mm-hmm.
So within 72 hours of signing an agreement, they can, even if they've given a deposit, they can say, I don't want to do the project. They have to get 100% of their money back. After the 72 hours, we can keep 10% of their deposit, but we've never had to do it. I always let my elderly customers know that this is something, it's in place to protect them.
Yeah, yeah.
And our concern is, again, protecting the homeowner. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the insurance claim process is usually pretty straightforward. We can work with public adjusters that, work on behalf of homeowners. We can't actually work for a public adjuster. There's a conflict of interest there.
Sure.
But we can connect them with a public adjuster who can help them, and then they negotiate with the insurance company, and then we just kind of get brought in as to do the work for them.
Yeah. Just in life, some people might not know what a public adjuster is, so I want to explain what their role is in this whole process.
So a public adjuster is responsible for determining what the damages are to a property and finding out the best way to represent that property owner.
Well, okay.
And then they take a fee. Usually 10% of any settlement is pretty standard in the industry.
That's what they receive.
They receive
So if
10%.
it's a $30,000 roofing job, they receive $3,000
$3,000 for doing the work. Yep.
from the insurance company,
They
from the
get
roofer.
from the homeowner.
from the homeowner.
Yeah, the homeowner is responsible for the agreement between them and a public adjuster, just like
Okay.
the homeowner is responsible for an agreement between them and us as the
So
contractor.
so if they call the insurance company directly, they wouldn't have to pay that fee.
Correct.
But the likelihood is to get a lower offer.
Correct. And they usually,
That's interesting.
insurance
I'm gonna
companies
be honest
wanna
with you, I'm
give
in the
as
real
little-
estate business, and I really didn't
Yeah.
know that.
insurance companies want to pay as little as they possibly can.
Well, sure, yeah.
And obviously, I mean,
Yeah, they're in
we
business to
consider-
make money.
right. And everybody, as our premiums continue to go up, I mean, these are things that are a direct result of excessive claims. And there will be some excessive claims. We've seen some,
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I've always wondered what the role of the public adjuster was. I thought they worked for the insurance company. So this is something new for me. They're working for the client.
they work for the client.
Wow, that's excellent. Okay, that's knowledge is power. Definitely, a couple things there. I think people really need to be aware of. That's 72 hours and the role of the adjuster.
Yep.
Wow. Now, other than weather and things of that nature, what other triggers are there for people to replace their roof?
Age.
Age, okay.
So if a roof is, 35, 40 years old, it starts to lose its integrity. And when you consider the materials that were used 35 years ago.
It starts to lie to people.
Huh?
It starts to lie to people. It's not.
Starts to lie.
It's integrity.
It loses
integrity
its integrity.
Integrity is it starts to leak in your bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
And some people will never experience a leak. They'll never have anything happen, but the roof is 25, 30 years old, and their insurance company says, hey, you probably need to replace that roof.
Oh, okay. You get in the insurance company. They come out and inspect the property.
Yes. And they'll do drones, they'll do drive-bys, they go by homes and just say, oh, yeah, we're not going to insure this house because the roof is, clearly 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it doesn't mean that it's leaking. It doesn't mean that there's actually a problem, but, you want to needs to be able to protect the investment underneath it.
Sure. So one of the reasons is when a person changes insurance companies, now the new insurance company is going to come out and inspect the property.
Correct. It prompts an inspection.
Wow. Okay. So if they've been with the same insurance company for years and years and years, that might not happen.
It's usually not a problem.
But of course, in that scenario, they get the price creep thing going.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, the price. Yeah, you do need to review your insurance at least every few years. I would recommend. Yeah.
I mean, it's been our experience as myself, even as a homeowner. I'm checking it out every year.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I have a new roof on my house, so
Well,
I guess
you
I don't
better.
have to
You
worry
better have a
about
new roof.
that. I have a lot of upgrades
You're in the
to
roofing
my house.
business.
Done a lot of work on the house over the years, but yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned about an insurance company coming and saying they're not going to insure me.
Okay. No, it is interesting. I remember years ago, I had I bought a trampoline, and a few months later, I changed insurance company,
Oh, that's
and they told me to get rid of it.
Yes.
And I did. I didn't realize, it was fun. We're jumping around the kids and stuff. But when the guy told me about the injuries resulting from trampolines. I was like, I felt like I was being a bad parent having a trampoline.
Yeah, and bouncy houses too. Because
Yeah,
people think,
yeah.
oh, it's it's a cool thing to have, but you have kids that climb into that bouncy house and
They
one of
break their
them
neck.
exactly,
Yeah,
and you as the
yeah,
homeowner are responsible for that.
yeah.
Now you could do things temporarily, and I mean that's kind of another topic, but you
Sure,
could have
sure.
temporary riders on insurance if you're going to have an event at your house
Mm-hmm.
where you are protected in those types
Yeah.
of instances. But it's for a very limited period of time, and you pay a premium for that.
So when a person, we do a lot of real estate work and stuff. So when a person goes to sell their home, I would think the roof is an important piece of that, and it's
Very
reviewed
important.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done work with real estate agents that said, hey, before we list this house,
I've had some leads from real estate agents. I've only had
probably need to change the roof?
Yeah, I've only had one project that actually went forward with a
Okay,
real estate
okay.
agent. I mean, ideally, real estate agents should be one of my best referral partners.
Well, they will be now. You're going to hang around with you're hanging around with Vision Properties now. It's
Not
all
hanging out with you,
changing.
so
This
yeah.
guy Jeffrey in Fronte is going to be the key person to this entire thing right
We're
here.
looking forward to that. Yeah, so I think what happens is they may make a concession in the sale of a home where they say, hey, that roof is 30 years old and we want to, we're gonna have to replace that roof before the insurance company wants to cover the property.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
So-
before the mortgage company must have a say in it too.
Yep. So
They're a liability.
Yep. So they're passing that information along to me, and then I give them an estimate to do that roof. They wind up taking that off of the sale price, but they kind of they shop it around and
Yeah, I'm going to have to get you. Thinking about it, we have a couple of great sponsors that have been involved that are in the inspection business.
Yeah.
And I don't know what can they refer out or they inspect a home and see that? Is it?
I think again, there may be a conflict.
They just give it to
Similar to
information
adjusters.
of the homeowner and the
Yeah,
and the
they
mortgage
can
company
tell
and-
them, look, this is somebody that we've worked with in the past, or we know that
Mhm.
and they can give them a card, but ultimately, I don't think they can give a straight.
Maybe they can give them
referral.
3. Maybe they could if they protect themselves. I know as a realtor, if we have a home inspection that's due, we can hand out 3.
Yeah, so
Can
it's
hand
probably
out
very
1.
similar, right?
So let them select. So just walk me through a typical client. They contact you and they have I'm trying to think. I heard the word squares before. I don't exactly know what that means, but just say a normal house around here. A cape of something nature. A 1,500 square foot house. Has a
It's
What
would be
size roof?
about 15 squares.
so that's probably kind of a
100
normal.
square
Is
feet
that a
of-
normal?
Yeah,
average
100 square
size.
feet of roof surface is considered a square.
Yeah, so someone engages you. Just go ahead, walk us through the
So
process.
there are some things to consider as well. So you have pitch. So pitch is going to change how much actual surface space there is. You may have a 1,500 square foot house, but then the roof is shaped like this. So you take this now and you flatten it out, and that becomes more than 1,500.
Oh, okay, okay.
So there's a multiplier that we use in the calculation and everything for determining the materials and what we'll need to do that roof. So, but we start with property information that we can find online. So the first thing we do, usually people call or they'll send an email, text message, whatever, let us know that, hey, I want to have you check out my roof. Or a real estate agent or an insurance agent, someone will contact us and give us the information or we get them through Yelp and Better Business Bureau. We're A+ rated, Better Business Bureau. So we get leads through them as well. And so we start with information that we can find out about the property online. In Rhode Island, everything's public record. You can get property information. You can find out who the owner is, and you can get some really basic information about the property. So the first thing I do is confirm that the person who's contacting me is the owner or an owner's representative. That's a problem because there are scammers out there who will want to, try to get people to show up and go do work at someone's house and it's not even their house. And I can't do it on behalf of a renter. It has to be the owner. So, that's obviously a problem. But we do get information off the web. Vision Solutions and Catalyst is another. Those are the 2 primary ones in Rhode Island where you get information about properties.
okay.
So I get some basic information, reach out to the homeowner, let them know. I can give them a very quick estimate based on that property information
Okay.
and from Google what I can see, Street View, and being able to calculate what the pitch is of the roof and any outbuildings, looking for sheds or detached garages, things like
I
that.
wonder if other roofers do that. What you describing?
Probably. I mean, a lot of them use software.
Okay.
There are
Yeah, I
there are
mean,
a
I don't
bunch
want to
of
accuse the industry,
there are a bunch of software
it
solutions. There's
sounds
one
like you're
called,
pretty detailed about it.
yeah, there's one called Eagle View that has some really specific information.
Yeah, yeah.
We use RoofR to do our roof calculation reports once we've engaged with the customer and they really are thinking about moving forward. Otherwise, we're paying for a service. So,
So
obviously,
you're hired.
yeah. So
So
I'm hired.
what happens now?
Well, so then we pick a shingle color. That's very
Okay.
important. You want to.
Yeah.
That's going to be on your roof for the next 35 years. So you want to know, ideally,
It's kind of a big
35,
decision.
40 years,
Yeah.
right? You want to know what that house is going to look like for the next 35, 40 years.
Yeah.
We always tell people to consider, are you going to change the outside of your house? Are you going to paint it? Are you going to do siding? Are you going to do anything that's going to potentially change your color choice?
Mm-hmm.
So think about that, because what are you going to do first? You're going to do the roof first. Consider what you're going to be doing to the sides of the house. So when you get it all done, you don't have a blue slate colored shingle on a mint green house.
Sure. Yeah.
So it'll look like ass. So you don't want to do that. But so we picked the shingle color, the drip edge color. We can go with white or brown. We can also do custom colors if you need to, if there's something really specific on a house. We did have one house that had copper everything, so we did a copper drip edge, which
Wow.
that was a very expensive adder.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And then we check things like gutters, if they need, new gutters or gutter guards, whatever. We always check for that as well when we do the actual inspection, when we go out and look at the house. We take photos and we kind of go over all the details of the project with the homeowner, and then we provide them usually with a quote either that same day or the day after.
Okay.
So the estimate is really an estimate until we go out there and look at everything.
Sure.
And then once we have a signed contract, then we engage our subcontractors. So we have to do the labor. So I do everything else. So the only thing that I can't do legally is tell a contractor what to do. I can tell them that this is the job, this is the location where you're going to be doing the installation, and here are all the materials. I can't tell them what to do.
Okay.
Against the law. So if I'm telling them what to do, they have to be my employee. I don't have
so
employees.
all things are signed and they're going forward, and
Yep.
the project
So-
starts.
Yeah, so we usually
Pick a start date.
We can have the material as long as we don't have to do a special order. We can usually deliver all the materials within a week and start the installation the day after materials and the dumpster are delivered.
So how long does that take? How long's the installation? You got to
Most-
strip the roof, right?
Strip, and check we do an inspection after we strip the roof. Cranston requires you to do photos of everything, which I think is a good thing, because
Okay.
you're confirming that you're checking stuff, making sure that it's right.
Is that a one-day process?
It is, usually, yeah.
Wow.
You get into bigger houses or, again, special circumstances, having to access different places. Like we did one recently in Narragansett that it wound up being a 2-day job just because there were so many intricacies and we had to replace some roof deck. So the roof deck, if we discover that there's damaged roof deck or rafters, anything that we find that's rotten, we have to replace it before we can put the new roof on.
And you don't find that until you take the material
don't
off
find
the
it
roof.
until after it's done, yeah. And we've actually gone into attics and you can look and see, it looks okay, but we're really not going to know.
Well, that's because the light's covered.
Yeah.
The sun's not shining through.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then we, take everything off and.
Because I've seen some with the blue tarp on it for a couple days.
Yes, and
So,
we will do
something extraordinary happened there, or
Yeah, usually
the
that's
roofer might have
usually
booked
that's because
themselves.
something has happened.
Okay.
And it may be that the homeowner hasn't agreed to replace the roof deck, or maybe they want somebody else to do it, and that can be a bad thing. I don't want to have someone else install the roof deck, and then me go and install the roof. 'Cause now I'm
That's a nice
inheriting
piece of advice
problem.
right there.
I'm inheriting a
Yeah,
problem.
so the homeowner has one company
Yes, doing the whole thing.
contact. Yeah, that's actually a solid piece of advice.
And there was
for
a
everybody.
recent project that I was engaged to do, and we found that it was in Newport. Found that there was entire framing that needed to be done on the flat roof sections,
Sure.
and my subs don't do that. So I wasn't going to engage someone else to do this, and then us do the roof. So I engaged with another company who does all of that work, and I gave them the project.
Excellent.
It's not because again, we're working for the homeowner. It's most important for us for that homeowner to have the roof that they need to have, whether we're the ones to provide it or not.
So post jobs completed, the yard.
Everything is cleaned up. So
Yep.
our subs are really good about putting tarps up. So when they're taking stuff off of the roof, we don't destroy things in people's yards. We obviously have people move things like lawn furniture, any grills, anything that's portable or that could possibly be damaged by falling debris. And then after the project's done, all that stuff is cleaned up, and then our guys go around with this vacuum, really tough, strong vacuum that sucks up any nails or little pieces.
Wow,
of
I
debris that are
didn't know
left.
that. That's great.
Yeah, so the crew that I use is really, really good.
Well, I saw some guys recently on one of those 95, 100-degree days on a roof. I was like, I was feeling terrible for them.
Brutal.
They were working, and I drove by just because I happened to drive by a few hours later. They're still up there, man. These guys, they work hard. Those guys, if there's people work hard, it's roofers. Take me through. Bringing up the temperature. So warm temperature is one thing. What's the season? Is there a time year in the winter you're not able to do this?
Once the temperatures drop below 40 degrees for an extended period of time, obviously if there's snow on the roof, can't do a roof. But if they drop below 40 degrees for an extended period of time, then we won't do the roofs.
Because the material.
Everything has to settle. So for the adhesives, and the first thing you need to do is make sure that your material is acclimated. So it can't be sitting in a warehouse and then all of a sudden go out to a site and be put instantly on a roof. You want to get it 24 hours sitting outside where it acclimates. But when you're in those really cold temperatures, now that material can get brittle. And it's just not a good practice. You'll see people out there doing it, but we're not going to do it when it's 40 degrees.
It sounds like you're similar to the exterior paint business.
Probably.
Because I've heard those numbers from people that paint houses, the outside,
Yeah. Again, it's about, the ability for things to dry.
Sure. Well, geez, this has been very informative. I, at the end of the day, now we've completed the project, we vacuumed the yard. What's the feedback you've been getting from your homeowners?
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, good.
I haven't had any disappointed homeowners. Everybody's really happy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, again, I'm talking to Lisa Maine of Rody Roofs. I mean, go ahead, say it.
Get your roof on.
Get your roof on. Her and I were in a group together,
slogan.
And when it was her turn to talk, 30 people are going, get your roof on. So we've become good friends, and again, she's been nice enough to sponsor Real Estate Deal Makers. And I'm Jacob Belt. Until next time, get out there, support your local realtors, and not just me, but hire a realtor. Okay, don't this for sale by owner stuff. We got to stop altogether. Again, Jacob Belt and Lisa Maine. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a wonderful talk, and I've learned a lot myself, and I think the audience has also.
Great.
Okay, thank you.